But here we go. We are into draft. Lozenge
Whoa.
and Filmy already in. And Nico locked in, Hui locked in, Thresh, the Sejuani coming back. And,
Nico is new.
yes, Nico is new. We haven't seen a Nico today, which actually, I'm going to say surprises me because Nico has been really popular and we've seen Nico in PLC a lot.
Yeah, and the prevalence of control mages in PLC is always an interesting one. Did we get a Yunara pick ban last game? We definitely not picked. I think last game was banned, and so here it is, 100% pick ban for Yunara. Certainly a strong champion, but I feel is overblown. Thresh is the first in this tournament today, though.
Yeah, we did see him banned in our last game, but he has not been on the Rift yet.
So kind of cool that Filmy is able to pick that. I note that how flexible Filmy is as a team. I feel like every time we see them on screen, they're picking up some kind of new comp. Because I don't think any of these champions were played in the last game. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, they were not. And it's so fun to see things like that. We did see an Ashe really early in the day. I believe that was Roost who was playing Ashe, but not on the side of Filmy. So I truly believe that they've been able to mix up their own champion pool and do that. I think that's so exciting.
Yeah, it's very interesting to me as well. It is certainly a skill to be able to kind of hop back and forth between champions. Ashe does not play like Tristana. They have similarities. They're both ADCs, but Ashe is not Tristana inherently. Thresh is not. Oh my goodness, who did they pick? Like Sylas last game or something crazy?
Yeah.
There are similarities, but man, Thresh does not have a dash. He's got other people dash, but not himself.
Yeah.
Zoe though. Zoe is.
I like that pick.
Often.
So look at the top lane bans so far. It really led to this Nasus, right? We got Tahm Kench, Renekton, and Darius banned for the side of Lozenge. And then on Filmy, another 3 top laners banned. So this was quite the setup here to pick the Nasus. I don't know if Gragas was my first thought to come up here. Again, I think Teemo would be an incredible pick against Nasus. I think he does really well. But yeah, Gragas is safe, and that's really what you're going for when you're coming into a finals like this.
Gragas has impact. I like Lozenge's team. I think they won me over the first time they were on screen, and here they are again. Nasus is a horribly misunderstood champion by solo queue, and his ability to split push is what makes him an incredible champion. Just because of how threatening he is. And I think he is a very interesting pick against the Ashe and Xin Zhao. I think his W is terror machine that allows teams to make plays that they otherwise couldn't. He is an enabler to the nth degree. There's a reason why we don't see a lot of him, and I kind of like him in this situation, especially with the Nico, especially with everything else going on. That doesn't mean that I don't like Filmy's team comp either.
No, definitely not. They have another set of exciting champions, right? And that's all we really want. The Hui in the hands of Geo, we've seen, like, I can't even believe that he did it again, right? We talked about the Victor from 2 months ago and then the Orianna today. If he, like, you can never count Geo out. And especially if he has a performance on the Hui like he did on the Syndra a couple months ago, like it's going to be undeniable. And so we need to make sure, or we are going to see if the side of What the Heck is a Lozenge is up to the task of keeping this man down, because it's a tall one to be sure.
I don't even know if you can do that. I think if you beat Geo, you need to run him over. I think keeping him down might not even be an option because, what is if Hui is 0 and 6? I think he's still impactful because you can just run up to a minion wave and QE it with the little lava thing, because he's so good at clearing, he's so good at sieges that even if he's not dealing damage, he's still providing utility to the team that I appreciate. And I think that's why Geo is so good as a player with what he is. If he's playing Syndra, if he's playing Victor, if he's playing the last person,
Oriana.
if he's playing Oriana, yeah, like it, he plays characters that are strong even when behind. He hedges his bets, and he's a very calm, collected player, and I respect that so much because it's very easy as like Oriana to just like lose more because you do.
Do you think that is what separates an A tier champion from an S tier champion? One that has impact regardless of your state in the game. If you get your one item or if you get into a team fight, you still have an impact. Is that what truly separates the classes?
No, but I do think it helps more than other attributes can, because if you're consistently strong, like think about Mbessa. If Mbessa is a champion that a lot of people hate because she's so strong, she's traditionally weaker early and then gets stronger as the game goes on. Um, but like she's still strong early, and that lack of reliance on items is certainly what frustrates people or whatnot. But I think like that goes for Gragas, that goes for Nasus, that goes for a lot of these champions that don't have reliance on items. It definitely makes them good. And you look at like Yunara, who absolutely has reliance on items. She's still strong, she's still good, but has reliance on items, and
Right.
can be shut down, so to speak. So I think it's just like a class of character for sure.
And I love that type of discussion. I know Kaisa is another reliant on items type champion, but whereas Vayne and Kale are not, because they just scale so hard with the way their spells work and the way their leveling works. Veigar is another good example, right? He will always be scaling. And so he isn't as reliant on those items. You can even build him full tank and still one-shot someone if the game goes long enough. And so that type of discussion is understanding when your champion, why your champion is strong and when they are, is a fascinating discussion. It's too bad there are 170 of them. Otherwise, we could like list some more here that we think are one way or the other.
Yeah, my brain immediately goes to that. So like Zoe, for example, is one that I think to most people's, it's not fun to play against Zoe. She kind of just explodes you. And a lot of Zoe mains will bemoan some of the changes that have been made to her, but I still think she's fairly strong. I don't think this is like the perfect scenario for her. This isn't like the dream Zoe game, but against a Hui, against like champions that can get caught out, it's very nice to have someone who can flexibly like pop in, deal some damage, and pop out without that full forward arrow, right? If this was something, Ari is a bad example, but if this was a more committal like Talon or someone like that, I think the punish is too easily stopped by a Thresh, by a Gragas, by a Xin. So I think this is a good pick, and I really like it.
Agreed. Now, one of the discussions I had a long time ago is why certain changes make champions strong or not. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for going on this theory crafting tour with Shazbot and me. One of the things that shifts the meta, it was a long time ago, they changed when the Scuttle Crab spawned. And when they did, I think it was a minute earlier. I can't remember, it was either a minute earlier or later. And so the junglers that were picked instantly changed. Because if it spawned at 2 minutes, you wanted something like Jarvan. You wanted something like Xin Zhao, who at 2 abilities was a full champion.
Right.
But when they changed it to 3, suddenly you could wait. You could pick Kha'Zix, you could pick Udyr, you could pick Olaf, you could pick these other champions that were strong at level 3. And it's the same reason why supports are so powerful. When you hit level 2 with Alistar, you're a champion.
Right.
End of story. Thresh, Level 2 with the champion, that's it. Braum, you're a champion level 1. And Nautilus is another example. That's why these champions are so strong. Karma is another great example. At level 1, you are an incredibly powerful champion.
Right. And those breakpoints matter. And I think that's a big reason. I think it's a big reason why Nasus is misunderstood, to kind of bring this back to that. Like, people look at Nasus and say he infinitely scales. And then I ask them, great, when is Nasus's breakpoint? When is he strong? And that is the mid game. Oh man.
Be in
Spotted.
some trouble. He's going to get hit with the Severing Bolt. Upset Life wants
Got
to
him.
land it. It's a death sentence, but Cleanse is burned. Bitna gets out without burning anything else.
I think that's still a win because that means that they don't have a cleanse for that level 2. I think that's pretty killer. So I don't think much more will happen off of this, but having cleanse down for a thresh lane is scary. I mean, it's the whole reason why Yunara opted on cleanse instead of anything else.
Absolutely. And it's especially wait, hold on. That was a goofy little spam there. I liked that.
Yeah,
Go,
yeah,
Gio.
you could do that with all of Hui's spells. Very fun. Um, Hui is just a fun character to play. Try him
Yeah.
out if you haven't. Uh, but yeah, as I was saying with Nasus, I think he's strongest in the mid game where he can make the most presence when people are leaving for the team fights and all that, and he can threaten other lanes with his wither. Like Nasus is strong because of his wither, and not a lot of people respect that. So yeah, I'm very excited to see what I know to be the first time as Nasus in the PLC tournament.
So I want to draw attention to a question you asked last game about phase rush because I've seen it on Oriana for a long time. Just the movement speed, ability to kite and use your auto attacks, that makes sense. But
Yeah,
putting it on Gragas is something that I'm just not getting. You get the auto attacks. That's where you are able to stack. So why not? I mean, like if you're trying to stack the phase rush, why not get grasp instead? Because
so
you
that's
have to auto attack.
yeah, so that's what I was thinking about, and since I was asking that question last game, I thought about it a little bit more. I think what's really trippy is that the people who use Grasp basically all use it for different reasons. Namely, Gragas uses it because he can use all of his abilities and then reposition to like bump people, right?
Mm,
Garen uses it because he can stack it so quickly with his E and then choose to either stick on or leave if things get bad because that's all he has. All
mhm.
he has is movement speed. And then when it comes to like Oriana, she wants to stick on people with her autos. And I think all of those champions are not using it for the reason other champions use it, which is kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah. What a great game we have.
Yeah. I wish other runes were that way.
All right,
uh,
everybody. Theory crafting is probably over. We should talk about the game itself because, well, maybe not necessarily because not a lot has really happened. Yumi's taken a bit of damage down to half health. They're trading mana points up here instead of hit points. To be real, KFC Superfan is there. But wait, fails, got hit. The clone was not the one in the death sentence. Ignites are traded up on the top side. Superfan and Iceman are not able to pick up the kill. Puffles has shown up trying to get some slow and save his top laner. And the one time we have action, no one dies.
it's very interesting. It's very closely played on each team. That's suddenly
Ooh,
everything is even.
never mind. Everybody just deals so much damage.
Yeah. Nice and tense. That's how we like our finals. Hold your breath and take a moment. Xin Zhao looking to flash E.
Iceman, he's trying. He gets hit with the sleep bubble. Yumi's going to take a third of
Ah,
his hit points in a single shot. And that's what we're talking about. Level 2, Yumi's Zoe. Yeah, Zoe's a champion.
Yumi playing Zoe. Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
We need to ban people playing champions as their names.
Do you know what was even worse was when on Team Unknown, Kodo Draco name was Callista,
That's
and
right. I
Calavir
remember
played
that.
Callista.
Yeah.
And so
That
we said,
was
Callista's going in, but actually it's Callista. And
very fun. Also pretty awful. Now,
Yeah.
KFC Superman is out of mana here. Now, Nasus doesn't care nearly as much about being out of mana, namely because the only ability he really cares about early is Q. Um, but this is a very awkward position for Gragas. Now, both of them do have teleport in case either of them decide to make any weird plays. Um, but here we are. Not sure why Nasus is walking on top of barrels, but here we go. Um, and yeah, so Gragas is forced to recall there. These pillow fights
Oh, hold on.
are
Fails was there to lock up Geo. They get the sleep. They have the
get
ignite.
it.
And this is going to be it. This is first blood given over to Yuumi Throne. And a beautiful setup as a minion.
Yeah, very. You got to count your minions with the Nico. Played a game the other day with Nefuri, and Nico disguising as a little dog was really funny. Could do a lot with that. But anyways, 6 games is a lot. 11 being here on the finals. We got level sixes coming out, so we should start seeing things like Ash Arrows, who is not level 6 yet, but who will be soon. Zoe is now enabled, and so we should see some more plays going on. Fairly low kill gain for PLC, but that doesn't mean that we don't have things going on. People are starting to stance around the objectives, trying to find the wards. We do have people like Xin Zhao top, but Xin Zhao has a hard time ganking Nasus, especially when Nasus doesn't need to worry about slowing the attack speed of Gragas. They are fighting up there, though.
Fozzie Bear does not have flash. He does have his ultimate going on. He has the
Ooh,
rune
big hit.
complete footwork. They block the honey fruit. He is still alive and he almost gets the kill onto Iceman Rai.
Yeah, that's so tough because Nasus probably could have done more, but the CC from Gragas is not insubstantial. So unfortunately, he does go down, and Fozzie Bear is going to be that much more difficult.
I like KFC Superfan's choice in items. I think that the mana problems that he was having earlier really require this catalyst. You know, when you're already trading hit points, that means you get mana back. When you're spending mana, you get health. It's just so strong on Gragas, who wants to be trading, who wants to be getting those hit points back. So great choice.
Yeah, I have a weird relationship with that item, but it's undoubtedly very
Ash
strong.
Arrow
Turns out,
onto Puffles. They now have a 1v3. Iceman Rai uses the ultimate, meaning Derry is alive for just a little bit longer, but now they are being followed. Yuumi Throne is in the throes itself, but the Spiraling Despair is there. He's going to go down, but Warfare goes over to the side of what the heck. Fails, gets ignited, not hit with the death sentence. Geo trying to separate the fight here. Bitna is going really hard against Upset Life, but now it's a 1v2. Geo has his spells, wants to pull him in with the Gaping Maw. Bitna has no mana, cannot engage any further. Fails is low. Bitna is low. Geo is very healthy. Hits with the Severing Bolt and
whoa!
gets the execute.
That was so much damage. I really respected Bitna the first time that we saw What the Heck on stage, just due to the calm collectiveness that she had. But she's really struggled in this game, catching thresh hooks and then overstaying without any mana, without any sticking potential. And
Geo's
that's
in
really going to be
trouble. This might be it.
Woo!
Ignite into the electrocute.
Yeah. I swear every single time we pop back to Zoe, she's used the ignite.
Ooh, Flash
So
Wind becomes lightning. That was a really fun play there from Iceman Rai.
easy peasy. I always forget that Xin Zhao gets that extended engage range if he can land that wind becomes lightning on his W. It's a mechanic that I did not read in the patch notes and has scared me ever since.
One of my favorite things is when you have a spell that you can cast Flash and it will move for you.
Totally, yeah. A lot of Lucian obviously is the one that comes to mind, but there's so many of those champions that matter. The old insect is really
Mhm.
strong. It's something I kind of wish we could tell what spell Yumi has at any given time, because she popping those balloons that those minions carry as they go down gives her those active items or summoner spells that can really change the name of the game. Probably the closest to random that a champion gets, besides like TF earning gold
Mhm.
uh, in our League of Legends games. Um, But yeah, doing fairly well despite some setbacks early on.
This is an interesting set of purchases from Fozzie Bear. The two Null Magic Mantles and a Sheen while completing the Ionian Boots of Fervor. Not usual.
Yeah.
Derry might be in some trouble. Flashes
Ooh.
and doesn't get hit with the Glacial Prison.
Yeah, interesting that Ash did not take cleanse in this game for the amount of CC. And yes,
Yeah.
Nasus W counts as a CC.
So can you
uh,
cleanse that though?
I thought so until you asked that question. I'm pretty sure. I'm not. I don't know. Good question,
Ultimate goes
Ash.
down onto Bitna, but look at this. Fails, jumps in. I don't think the flash was truly necessary, but now Bitna's in some trouble. Might pick up a kill. Ignite is down onto Upset Life. Fails,
Wow.
will pick up the kill. Jump back in. Bitna gets another assist. Fails, gets the kill. Iceman Rai will pick one up underneath the turret. Yumi has shown up and wants to help fight. But the Nico is really low. Fails, in some trouble. Will get the root onto Geo. He
Ooh.
flashes away. Bitna is unable to deal the damage enough to get him. Yumi thrown has flashed forward, gets the trouble bubble, but Iceman Rai blocked the paddle star. Geo underneath the turret clears the wave.
Oh
Yumi
no.
thrown does get the flash off and ignite, but Iceman Rai is there to pick up the kill. Now we're 8-6.
Wow. Xin Zhao is 6-1. Like I know he's been getting kills, but six of them. I feel like I wasn't paying attention for all of these. He's substantially in the game. Already finishing his eclipse. Probably has more gold than that in his pocket. More fighting going on top lane. I've been using the term pillow fight a lot, and every time you look top, that's why. Weak footwork and Gragas passive make it very hard to kill either one of those champions. Fighting
Puffles
that
is
group.
here.
Ooh, loses
Steal
the
does
Kinkle.
not go through. Iceman Ride does secure it, fails, and Puffles trying to go in a 1v3. Puffles is caught with the death sentence, rather. Derry is here dealing all of the damage he can. KFC Superfan might be in some trouble. Fozzie Bear gets the Wither down. He is knocked away with the explosive cast, but now Superfan has to get the slow. Can't belly bop away for cooldowns, but Fozzie doesn't get the kill. But on the bottom side, Drake secured for Filmy and another kill.
100%. And the game is still fairly close. There is a small disparity from the gold the dragon gave and the three kills on the gold. But oh wait, no, Nico has the kills, not Yunara. That's
Awkward.
kind of interesting.
That's a slow from the Severing Bolt. The Iceman Rai gets hit with the Trouble Bubble. Derry is caught up here. Bitna deals a lot of damage. He's going to pick up one kill, jump forward, gets a 2 kills. And just as you were
Wow.
saying it, that's 2 onto the Yanara. Yumi thrown unable to secure the kill onto Iceman Rai.
So a lot of money on the right places for what the heck. I think they're piloting their champions very well. This Bidna character is a person that you need to be paying attention to with how risky they are. It's hard to describe them truly, but they're playing it well.
Buffaloes might be in trouble. Geo and Iceman Rai find him. Trying to do this 1v2. Iceman Rai goes in against fails, and Bitna trying to get a little bit is ignited, runs away with the speed from the Scuttle Crab, and now Bitna gets caught. Geo saves the day as Upset Life also comes in. He has the extra
Wow.
vision with the ignite, and Geo picks up a double kill. Yumi Throne is going through the jungle. Derry spots him. Death sentence in, and Derry picks up another kill. Now 12 kills for Filmy.
All right, I'm making a prediction right now. I think that Bitna was once upon a time like a Vayne main or something like that. The way that he's piloting Yunara is interesting with how close and how in the face. I wouldn't be surprised to find out he was like played Zeri or other champions and just happens to play Yunara because of where she is in the meta.
Mhm.
Because she's too close a lot of the time, and I think both deaths have come from mispositioning more than anything else.
I can see that, but Bitna did a great job in the other game, and so I wonder if maybe it's a little bit of jitters or the fact that this is game number 6.
Yeah, no kidding. Because it wasn't just 6 games that were casted.
Ultimate
It
has
was
been cast, fails, flashes in to get the stun. The laser goes out. Bitna trying to deal the damage he can, but the barrier keeps Derry alive. Upset Life helping out, fails, goes into the brush with a sweeper and gives the double kill over to Upset Life.
That's good to be able to stall enough to give it to the support instead of the carry. But we are 2-3 to 3-3 to 2-2. Isn't that crazy? They've been
Yeah.
able to kind of juggle the money as much as they have. But yeah, very
Ooh.
interesting game so far. Oh my goodness, that damage.
Fozzie Bear's in some trouble. Gets hit with the wind becomes lightning. Knocked up from the belly bop. Knocked back by the explosive cast. Do they have the damage? Fozzie Bear goes down. Iceman
Yikes.
Rye is now unstoppable as the first turret does go down on the bottom side. But now Puffles is in the fray. Bitna behind him. Derry gets the lantern, and that dark passage just saved Derry's life.
It does not look like we have upgraded boots yet, despite the turret going down, which means that we have all of our eyes pointed towards the epic monsters, which right now it looks like Xin Zhao is taking one of them.
And that's going to be number 2 for the side of Filmy. But Geo just missed everything. Fails, got a great fake out here. He's going to get a little bit more damage. Puffles is in the wings, flash forward to get the ignite, and that's going to be yet another kill onto the Nico. Another fight breaks out. Puffles in some trouble. Iceman Rye getting the knockup. Procking Conqueror pulled into the permafrost. Nice dodge from Fails there. Iceman Rye jumps back in onto Puffles. Is not able to get it, and that shutdown gold over to Bitna.
Very, very well played. The shutdown on Xin Zhao is pretty detrimental. I do see a Titanic Hydra. Interesting choice from Xin Zhao, but I don't hate it. And here we are, kind of in this awkward state because all the kills and all the money are on Xin Zhao, who's building tanky.
Upset Life got the snare onto the clone and now Fails and Bitna are able to set up another kill. Puffles does not have his ultimate, doesn't have his flash, can try an assault forward to get the slow, but it will lead to nothing, and they disengage and farm instead.
Yeah, the Bidna is been having a strong showing, choosing to go for that Blade of the Rune King first item, a choice that I really like. There's a lot of schools of thought with Hunara, and in fact, the first game that we saw with Bitna, he built very differently. But
Mhm.
Blade of the Rune King, I think, is a very solid choice for Gragas, who has a lot of HP but not a lot of resistances, and I guess same with Xin Zhao of all people. Very interesting.
Agreed. Now, the proxy coming out from Fozzie Bear, I don't know if this that's actually really risky. Filmy is on the it's not as bad because Filmy is on the bottom, but that is the second Drake that they are able to take. Filmy now has 2 out of 3 of those epic monsters. No, 3 because I got the Rift Herald. That's feats.
That is feats for the side of Filmy, which is impactful, especially with the way that you want to itemize with these champions. Like look at the again the boosted swiftness on the Thresh. He was banking on it, or he bought it
Mhm.
later. Uh, really important and uh, not insubstantial at all. Thresh deciding to 1v1 the 1v1er, uh,
Yeah.
but that's okay. It's just a stall. Very interesting. Uh, I do like that Nasus was proxying though. Call him Fozzie Bouse, because that stall, that pressure, is what Nasus number one is best at. Is one of the best split pushers in the game, but it requires people to answer him while the rest of his team kind of resets.
Right.
Because they are slightly behind, and Nasus not losing.
Upset Life taking a lot of damage. Bitna gets a nice jump, but gets hit with the ultimate from Derry. They do trade 1 for 1, but now Geo, almost gets fails. Instead, the Rocket Belt will save him. He goes into the stopwatch, I want to call it, but that's not right. The arm guard. He's still alive, but only just. Iceman Rye is getting close. Now, Superfan versus Yumi Throne. Yumi Fan is doing, or Yumi Throne is doing quite a lot of damage. Does not land the trouble bubble onto Superfan. He will make it out. But that was closer than I thought it was going to be. Gio was going to land the fear onto Fozzie Bear and make it out.
Yeah, these are very close fights. Yeah, very small mistakes could mean all the difference in these fights. But here we are, not doing a ton of damage to Gragas, who's able to tank most of these hits. Most of the damage from or Zoe, not Yumi, is well Yumi playing Zoe. Oh, that's
Right.
what's messing me up. Is flat damage and not any amount of percentage beyond like items that she's building. And so the tanky Gragas is definitely a good match for Zoe. Although I don't hate the fact that Zoe is in a side lane, just due to the flexibility that she gets from her Spell Thief W.
Yeah. Do you know what soul we're gonna have? It is Infernal, right?
Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
it is Infernal Drake.
Huh. I saw an animation, but then the wall didn't go away.
I think they changed like what walls are destroyed for
Huh.
Infernal. I like feel like it doesn't really do much anymore, other
Awkward.
than obviously. But the Infernal Soul is also like mega impactful for the game. If
Yeah.
either team gets the Infernal Soul, they kind of just win the game.
Puffles is the target. He takes about half his health. Iceman Rai wants to engage. The clone is up in the front. Rai jumps back in again. He gets hit. That flash into the belly bop from Superfan was incredible. Now we have some support combat coming out here. Upset Life is the next target. Bitman jumps out of the way. Geo does not land the ultimate, but meanwhile on the top side, Fozzie Bear picked up another turret. He's going to go farm up and try and get yet another one. On the bottom side, Iceman Rai versus Yumi Throne. He gets the kill
Dang.
before he gets slept. That was crazy.
Such a fast champ. I'm so excited for his rework, but he's such a fast champion. Really like that Kaladin character down there.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, that Nasus is like, I really think that this is like the secret sauce that might win them the game because
Holy
look at
cow.
how terrifying he is.
Yeah, that slow and the siphoning strike onto Geo was incredibly high.
On paper, control mages should beat Nasus, but Nasus does this thing where he W's you, and then control mages are like, I don't have any dashes. And Nasus says, yes. Now I bonk
Yeah.
you on the head. And it's something that I've been singing the praises for a while, but people say, no, Nasus is a scaling champion. I'm like, then scaling champions aren't supposed to be this powerful at 20 minutes. It's
Right.
this is he's like such a mid-game threat that has the ability to go late. And
Oh, I
he's
think
really
that,
cool.
like you said, it's all about people misunderstanding the champion. If you don't
Mhm.
max your W, he's a scaling champion. But if you max your
Mm.
W, he's a mid game threat.
Yeah, maybe, and maybe I need to play some more Nasus to be a better advocate for him or whatnot. But traditionally, someone I don't play very often. But anyways, it's
Gage
very well
probably
played.
out here
Ooh,
fails at
good
the
flash.
flash. The arrow does not land, but instead it hits onto Puffles, who is also hit by Upset Life, but a big damage coming into Iceman Rai. Puffles makes it out. He lands his own ultimate. Turret destroyed once again on the side of what the heck. Derry dealing a lot of damage. Bitman has to run away. The clone took everything, but
Ooh,
instead Yumi Throne jumps in and gets hit with the collateral damage of the AoE.
that's really rough. Fortunately, it's just the one person. Nas is very confident here, fighting him even without his ulti right now. He still has it in his back pocket, expecting more people to show up. So should
They
see
have
that
shown
here.
up. He does finally pop it. KFC Superfan is going to knock him back a little bit. Upset Life wants to land the death sentence. A flash has been burned. He's going to go all the way up to the blast cone, try and make his way
Oh
out,
no,
but he's
Ash.
slowed by Derry. He has double turret aggro between, and Upset Life stole it from 3 different carries on his team.
Oh, so sad. But you know, like this is the kind of thing that should have been just a free Drake. Ooh, good clone.
Fails is
Um,
caught by another death sentence. Gonna use the Pop Blossom, try and get Upset Life, but it is not enough. Upset Life throws another death sentence. Superfan on the backside means that Filmy get a free Drake here. They pushed everyone away.
what was should have been a free Drake was then turned into a free Drake.
Puffles gets caught,
Oh,
and they get the kill fast enough on the Drake to take the lantern, take the kill, and the red buff. And Filmy are starting to run away with this game. Geo might be in some trouble, but Derry is there to back him up. Bitna deals a lot of damage, gets the fear,
ooh.
but Geo's on a rampage, and these guys are getting scarier and scarier as the game goes on.
I love our PLC mid laners, and I think Geo is just one of them that like I think he's so good because of how consistent he is. And he's not the flashiest character. He's not going to make any like faker compilations, but like
Mhm.
that doesn't make him any less impactful to every single game he's in. And I think that's really respectful.
I agree. He's 8-3 on this way. He's got 2 full items plus the upgraded boots. Like, he's incredible. But
Absolutely.
I do want to. I understand your points and Nasus Max W, but let's check on the stacks just in case, or
Just
just
for
because,
fun.
just for fun. Let's take a look at our NASA stacks and see where we are. And we can check the
Absolutely.
Thresh stacks too, because that's going to be armor and ability power. Yumi does go in, doesn't land the paddle star though.
Totally. And yeah, very interesting. Very interesting game going on so far. I'm finding that even though Filmy has this crazy lead, I feel like they're overconfident with this Nasus. Okay, here we go.
Yeah,
It's
this
been
is
more
going to be
people.
the fight. Iceman Rai is here. The slow comes in, but he goes into the ultimate. He's going to get the slow onto
That
Iceman Rai,
attack speed
and he
slow.
heals so much from the siphoning strike and the passive, or rather the keystone, but it is not enough. The amount of time they were there, but Fails is killed as well. Bitna is low. Geo is fighting on to Puffles. Teleport
Teleport.
coming out from the Gragas. Superfan is on his way. Spiraling Despair onto Puffles means that he is going to take a bit more damage. Superfan is going to get the slow down onto Yumi. Ignite onto Superfan, meaning he can't heal as much, but Puffles is super low. Yumi is super low. They are going to get one kill. They are going to get another. And now Filmy is up 27-13. A kill a minute just for Filmy in game number 6, our finals, as they attack the Baron.
Man, Filmy has had such a commanding presence in these tournaments. There's a reason why they've won so many, and taking Baron is going to probably spell the beginning of the end unless they really flub the next little bit of the game. Uh, Baron on all 5 champions that are up, they're going to recall, they're going to reset, and they're going to start shoving. And suddenly,
Mm-hmm.
Nasus, who's really good at split pushing, is going to have a more tough time when all these minions have some crazy resistances.
Very true. And one of my favorite things. Oh, Darius might be in some trouble as Fails and
Wow.
Bitman say, "Hey, Baron buff? No, not very tough." I'm on a rhyming
Yeah.
thing today.
You gotta count those minions. That's all I'm saying.
uh, that was
Totally,
funny.
but getting one less Baron on the map is very important. It means that they can't push as hard. I do like that Xin Zhao is choosing to clear wards instead of pushing lanes,
Yeah,
but I guess
well,
they're not going to do anything else in the meantime. So, you know,
yeah. That's what I was going to say. I remember what I was going to say, but it doesn't matter anymore because there's another fight. Fozzie Bear versus 2, but Puffles is here. Fails is here. They go in. They get the stun onto Iceman Rai. They get the Pop Blossom onto Iceman Rai. But KFC Superfan helps save the day. Shutdown Gold
wow.
does go over to the side of Fails. And now they're chasing into the jungle. Upset Life, Geo might be the target's flash away to get to the blast cone. He knocks him away. Upset Life isn't the target. It's Geo. He's hit with the sleepy trouble bubble, and that is shutdown gold more and more into Fails.
Wait, I thought Filmy was winning. How what? How did they go 0-3 in a team fight? And then here we are. Dragon going to be respawning soon. It would be soul point for
That's
Filmy,
the
but
Wither. Darius caught with the Tangle Barbs, and the aggro change was insane there with the arm guard. Well done, but
all
Fails
right.
stayed too close. Upset Life does flash forward and pick up a kill with the Ignite.
Man, it's so crazy to think that Nasus is 0-4 and has this much importance
Yeah.
on the map. It's it's one of these champions, man, that is just able to be that you have to respect, otherwise you'll be in trouble. Yunara 8-5. It's the gold spread in this game is very strange, and I think it's a big reason why what the heck is having such a tough time is because they don't have money on Zoe. They don't have money on the person that is causing the most aggro on the map, that being Nasus. It's really rough.
Another fight is here. Fozzie Bear doesn't have mana. He doesn't have his ultimate. He's the target. Never mind. He does cast that ultimate. He is there. Derry coming back into the game with another kill. The rest of what the heck have to scatter here. They were able to take the Drake, if I'm remembering right.
Yes.
Puffles is going to be the target. Flash over the wall. Superfan takes a fifth of his health. Yumi Throne is underneath the turret with Puffles, but they're just going to dive. They don't even care. Iceman Rai is taking the whole turret, and he does not go down. He just took like 8 shots. Bitna trying to get what he can. Another turret shot. They are just too alive. They're too tanky. They're too far ahead. In fact, there's another kill for Geo, and now Fails is the only one left for what the heck.
Gio has been way too good an answer against the Unara, who's just getting blown up at every other angle. It, it's man, they've had swing states to allow what the heck to come back, but the fact that they had to sacrifice their lives to try to get that dragon, just it's a little bit more bleeding. It's a little bit more bleeding, and it's starting to stack up too much when the enemy team has double your kills, almost
Yeah.
double.
And let's take a turret count right here. 7 to 5. It's closer than I thought it was going to be, but that means that there are only 4 turrets left on the side of what the heck. They have their Nexus turrets and 2 lanes. They've got to be really careful. Puffle wants to go in. Derry is caught for a little bit, but he makes it out with the blast cone. Iceman Rai is in his ultimate, but everyone is inside it as well. Iceman Rai gets really low, but he makes it out. Derry is keeping him covered as they take down Fozzie Bear. Fails as the next target. Flashes out because Bitna got hit with the ultimate. The Spiraling Despair picks up a kill. Yuumi will take down Iceman Rai and is the last member. No, Fails is alive, but only barely. Derry life stealing and clearing the way with that hurricane means they're going to keep pushing. Yuumi Throne is not going to make it back to base. Upset Life wants to make sure of it. This is dirty play. I love it so much, but it's so frustrating.
It's so frustrating, but this is exactly what he should be doing.
No, Upset Life, don't flash. He's chasing after Yuumi Throne, dealing 0 damage, dodging the death sentence. But look at the base. What the heck is a lozenge? Have lost their inhibitor. Their mid has already been down, and their bottom turret is the next target. Superfan wants to get in a little bit of a fight. He's just going to belly bop away. Throws the barrel the wrong direction. Puffles underneath the turret will get some damage. They do get the permafrost. Do they get the perma stun? They knock him up. They knock him down, and they will take him out. Bitna picks up the kill, but Yuumi makes it back to the base.
It only took him a couple minutes. Oh man, I am. It's game 6, or it's our final game, and I am now only recognizing Yuumi Throne's name, not as a Yuumi player, but as the person that the Yuumi attaches to. Very funny.
Puff.
Spiraling Despair coming out.
That's crazy. It's a decent amount of damage.
Yeah, to not save that for a team fight, or at least have enough cooldown to. Yeah, it's coming back really quick.
Geo hit with the Glacial Prison. Iceman Ryan Upset Life wanted to try something else. Bitna is free firing here, jumps forward, but Iceman Ryan says, no, thank you, sir. Jump away. Bitna is killed. Fozzie Bear is killed. Puffles is killed. Iceman Ryan is still alive. Fails is here, gets hit with the Ash Arrow, goes into the Zhonya's, but it will do nothing. As Yuumi Throne is the last champion alive. The Baron is up, but I don't think that Filmy needs it. They are just going to push in these waves, and they are going to take their victory.
And watching these team fights, it's so rough for that Sejuani. Sejuani has thrown so many ultis this game and not been able to follow it just because of the amount of threat that the enemy team has had. It's got to feel bad as the jungler, but here we are, the finals.
And that is going to do it. The turrets are down. Yuumi Throne is in the song. Yes, I hate that item so much. But they take him down, and the Nexus is down. Filmy are the champions for August.